In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Chrome for testing. Chrome for testing is a new version of Chrome that was created specifically for testing. And the problem is trying to solve is the fact that Chrome actually normally updates itself and our tests break. So I'm sure you've experienced this. One day your test is working and the next day it's not, right? And then you have to go and download a Chrome driver that matches the Chrome that you have. That happens because Chrome normally updates itself, right? Just without you specifying to update. Every time there's a new release, they want you to be up to date. So they will update it automatically so you have the latest security patches and everything else. But for us testers, that is a problem sometimes, right? That with the Chrome driver, with the new web driver, it actually automatically downloads the Chrome driver. So it's not a problem anymore. But this new feature is created anyways, and I do want to show you how to use it. I'm going to create a new video. I'll link it in below to show you about how the new Selenium WebDriver actually automatically downloads the Chrome driver, so you don't really have to deal with keeping track of versions. But it is really good to know because that feature is still in beta and you might run into issues. And a lot of my students are asking me what is Chrome for testing and how to use it. So here we are. I'm going to show you that. Okay. So again, the problem we're trying to solve is the fact that Chrome will update itself and our automation breaks. But if you use Chrome for testing, it's designed so it's not going to update itself. So even if the actual Chrome we have on our machine gets updated, we don't have to basically get a new driver. We're going to be able to use Chrome for testing because it is not updated. All right, so let's get into it. My name is Armas. If you guys are new, what I do is teach QA automation. Everything that has to do with automation, I teach it. And if you like content like this, consider subscribing, check out my site, and like this video. Actually, liking this video is a huge favor for me because it helps with the algorithm. Okay. So that is about me. Let's look at this simple script. This is a very basic Selenium script. This is as basic as it gets. All it's doing is import Selenium WebDriver, create a Chrome, and go to a website. That's my site. So, and I put a breakpoint here because the browser always closes right away. And I just wanted to keep the browser open so I can show you the version and stuff like that. So now I'm just going to run it. I'm going to click on run. And browser is opening up. There you go. And there's no message here because I want to show you the normal way, and then I'm going to show you how to use the Chrome for testing. So it just opened up. You don't see any message here. This just says Chrome is being controlled by automated test software. Later on, you're going to see a different message so we can compare it. Okay. So how do we use Chrome for testing? This is a normal way. We just do Chrome. It opens up and wow, bam, right? So now let's go and download Chrome for testing. So to download Chrome for testing, there are a few ways to get there. I'm going to go through the way we always been going. So we always go to download Chrome driver, right? So we're going to say download Chrome driver. We've always been doing that. If you've been working with WebDriver Selenium and you want to run it in Chrome, you always do that. So the first hit we usually get, we go there and we're very familiar with this page. This is where we used to download Chrome drivers. Now, since Chrome 1.15, it's not available here anymore, they tell you to click here. So we click here and we get into this page. This is a new page. This is where we download Chrome driver as well as Chrome for testing. So if we look at this, we're going to come back and download the version we need. Another one is if you just say download Chrome for testing, right? If we just search download Chrome for testing, you get this Chrome for developers website. You click on that. This is nice. I really want you to check this out because it actually explained why we need this. It's pretty much explained what I just explained. So read it a little bit. It's a really short article, a short description. There's a fancy way of downloading it, but we're going to do it like the easy way. And here there is a link at the bottom. Click on that link. It takes you to the same page. Once you get to this page, just click on stable because you can also actually, if you want to play around with feature, right now I'm on 123. 123 is the stable one. If you want to run test in the future releases, and you can go to the beta, 124 or 125 are available. By the time you're watching this, I'm sure there's probably 200 available. Okay. So we're going to click on stable. Then if you click here, nothing happens. That's one thing that is tripping off my students a little bit. So what you got to do is copy the link. It's a zip and just put it in the address bar and hit enter. That will automatically download it. It will ask you what to call it. Because I have one here already, let me actually delete the one I have, and it's going to call it one. This should be the name. I'm going to do save. I'm going to do replace because it didn't know that I actually deleted it. So I am going to go to my downloads, and it is right there. Actually, it was right here. Double click it. This will unzip it. All right. So now we have this binary here. So basically, they just gave you the Chrome binary. It's an actual browser. Okay. So what we need is we need the paths. So when we instantiate a Chrome instance in our script, we just got to tell it, hey, use this browser. Otherwise, it's going to just use the default browser. And instead, we're going to say, hey, go and use this particular version or this particular instance of the browser. Okay. So I'm going to right click, hold option to get the full paths. If you're on a Windows, just go into the paths. The same thing, you go to your downloads, go to the paths, the address bar there, and just copy the full paths to this executable. Yours is going to be .exe. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my script here. I'm going to say Chrome binary. This is just a variable, binary. And I'm just going to put that there, just the path. Okay, now we're going to pass this as an option to our WebDriver. So how do we do that? We're going to create an option, a driver option, a WebDriver or Chrome option. I'm going to call it options, and it's going to be WebDriver.Chrome options. Then we're going to set that as a variable. I'm going to say options dot, what is it called? I'm looking at my notes. Binary location is going to be the Chrome binary. Then we're going to pass it into the Chrome object. We're just going to do options is equal to options. That's pretty much it. Now we're going to run the script. So I have a breakpoint here. I'm going to hit C to continue. Then I'm going to execute the script. It's the same script. It's going to go to the same place. Now it's taking a little bit of time, but it is going to start. And I'm waiting for the browser to kick off. There you go. Browser is up. It did everything the same, except now we got a message here that says Chrome for testing version, and gets a specific version and everything else. Again, all of this is pretty new. There's some things they need to work on. For example, if you look at this, there's no point to show here. And if you go to try to look at the version, it shows you, it tries to update and it shows you an error. Basically, I can go to about Google Chrome for testing, and there is a warning here and so on. But what I want to show you is this is how you use it. So now we're using Chrome for testing, and it is version 123. So tomorrow morning when I wake up, if my Chrome, my actual Chrome on my machine is automatically upgraded to the latest version, let's say 124 becomes available, it gets updated to 124, this particular script is not going to fail because this particular script is using this Chrome, which will never update itself. That is really the whole point. So that is basically a simple example. This is really what you need to know, but I'm going to show you how you would do it in a framework, because a lot of times you don't write scripts like this. Standalone scripts, one-off scripts, those are rare, right? If you're actually working as a QA, if you're actually writing tests for a site, you have a framework. You use a framework. You don't do a standalone thing. So let me just as an example, let me show you how I would do it in my framework, in the framework that I use in my courses. All right. So this is my framework. This is the framework I use in my bootcamp as well as in my courses. Similar. I use a different one for the bootcamp and for the courses, but it's pretty much very similar. So it's a PyTest based framework. And what we're looking at here is a conf test class. You don't need to know all of this. I'm just going to show you a very specific part of the code. But this is a fixture, meaning it's going to run for every test. Every time we run a test, this is the part that's going to open the browser. So we don't have to write open browser every time. We write it once and the framework will handle that. That's really the whole point of building a framework, so you don't have to repeat yourself. So here the way this works is we set the browser, what kind of browser it is, as an environment variable. It can be Chrome, headless Chrome, Firefox, or anything like that. Then it will take whatever the browser is from the environment variable. It will come down here and it will actually create a Chrome instance. And the way it does that is basically a simple WebDriver.Chrome. And you already know what's going to happen there. It's just going to open Chrome. Now what I want to do is I actually want to tell it, hey, use a specific version of Chrome. So in this case, what I decide to do is actually check in the binary into my repository, into my automation. So I just created a folder browsers and I copy whatever I just downloaded, the actual thing we just downloaded. Let me show you. this thing here, I copied it into here. I renamed it. I don't like to put spaces usually, so I put underscore there. Other than that, it's the same thing. Here, because of the way things work, it actually sees the extension. Here, you don't see the extension. Okay, so I put it in here. It's quite a large file. It is almost 300 megabytes. So normally it's not recommended to put something that big into your Git repository. This is just for the demo reasons, but you can actually, there's a bunch of other ways you can keep track of your browser. You can store it somewhere else. But for now, just to make it easy, I have it here. So here, I basically have to do what I just did earlier. I have to show it, to tell it where to find the binary. So basically, I got to create an option. I'm going to say options is going to be WebDriver dot Chrome options, and I'm going to say options dot binary location, right? So now I need to tell it where this is. But the most important thing when you're coding, you know that the path, it has to be relative, right? You don't know how the script is being run. You don't want to do PWD or anything like that. So you always want to figure out the location of this file relative to the current file. That way, no matter how you run it, that doesn't change. It's always relative. One folder is here, the other folder is here. They always stay relative to each other no matter how you run the script. So you want to get the relative paths. So I'm going to go in my notes and I'm going to actually copy the script, the line that gets a relative path. So I'm going to paste that here. So if we look at here, this guy basically just gets the relative path of the current file, the conf test, where it is. Then it's going to add the browsers folder and my application, which is the binary. So the same exact thing in Windows. That's another beauty, right? If I share this framework with a student, the student can run it on their Windows machine without having to make any changes at all. Then I'm going to do this here. Then I'm going to do options is options. And now this should open the Chrome as a Chrome for testing. So I'm going to run the script. I had it ready right here. There you go. It's a PyTest. This is the command PyTest. I'm going to run one specific test case ID 33, which is basically a front-end end-to-end test. So it's going to open the browser and it's going to go through the entire checkout flow. But I'm not talking about the test. The main thing that I just want to show you, it actually opened Chrome for testing. So now, since this browser is checked in with my repository, it doesn't matter what happens to Chrome, whether Chrome gets updated or not updated, my test will always run. And if I check this in and you check it out, no matter what kind of system you are in, the test will run because the browser is also there. Okay, you also have to deal with the Chrome driver, but in the next video, which I'm going to link in the bottom, you'll see how that's not a big deal because Selenium WebDriver can now automatically download the Chrome driver or Gecko driver or even Edge, whatever the MS driver, I believe. So that's what I wanted to show you. That's what I got for you in this video. I think this is really good to know, even though we probably don't use it that often, considering the latest updates to Selenium. So if you like this, give my video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and check me out. I have a lot of things like this. I focus on teaching beginners QA automation. Thanks for watching.